From the initial 9 points deduction requested by Giuseppe Chiné on the 20th of January in the morning to the same day in the evening, the decision to take away 15 points from Juventus. 15 points that were taken away, and Juventus needed to play for 3 long months without knowing if they would have been given back, yes or no. Until the 20th of April, where Juventus temporarily saw these points given back, and also seeing Juventus being second in the ranking of Serie A. We all knew that the day would come where they would have taken a new decision. Well, this morning, and that's why I'm a bit later recording the video, Giuseppe Chiné, that initially requested for -9, this morning asked for a -11. No, I am absolutely not joking. This is the new request of Giuseppe Chiné, without any new proof of evidence, without any new information changing that initial request. We'll speak about that, but also the other points of conflict, especially the press conference of Max Allegri, where he says, I will stay at Juventus, but also his answer to the words of Szczesny post-Sevilla. Remain on the channel, put a maximum of likes, subscribe to the channel if you didn't yet. We start. Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel. As you noticed in the beginning of the video, I didn't speak at all about Empoli Juve, the game that will be played this evening. Guys, for one simple reason, we don't care about Empoli Juve. I am aware that Juventini do not care about Empoli Juve. Why? Because this game, this evening, could potentially make no sense at all. The season was already over for a lot of Juventini after the elimination against Sevilla. For the other ones that still want to watch Juventus, to give an importance of this season, qualifying on the field in that Champions League of next year, 23-24, Empoli would have been important, but with everything that is happening off the field, we don't know yet. And the players, they do not know. When will they know? Because again, this morning, a request has been made by Giuseppe Chiné of -11. But do you remember in January, request -9? How many points did they deduct to Juve? 15 points. The same scenario could happen this evening. -11 requested in the morning, -17, -20, -5, -6. What Juventus is hoping, -5 or -6. Otherwise, it's a total chaos. I already anticipate you. More than -5, -6 could generate a chaos. But that's something that we will have discovered. Well, we will know this evening right before the warm-up. So the players, they will have no chance to speak up with the management to be reassured if yes or no Empoli Juve is an important. I can't guarantee you the result of this evening. I can't guarantee you the performance of this evening. I can't guarantee you nothing. The only thing that I can guarantee you is that I don't leave the boys alone. And for that reason, I will do a watch-along on this channel of Empoli Juve. I want to have the chance to say that Sersanti and Riccio are playing their first official game, not in Serie A, but with Juventus first team. A dream for these boys, for these young boys called up by Max Allegri. I want to say Forza Juve, whatever happens. Some of them, they don't deserve the support for some performances this season. But I can tell you that off the field, in a human perspective, these guys, they deserve the full support of all the Juventini. And that's why I will be here this evening. Guys, we go to the different conflicts that happen and that we need to discuss about. The first one is Gazzetta dello Sport, that, you know, they paid a graphic designer to work on a broken Juve logo. Looks like they also worked on a deal, a binding deal, that they have a minimum obligation to use that logo, because they are using it again, and this time really huge in that double page. Guys, ragazzi, there is one thing that I totally don't understand about Chiné and everything. You remember on the 20th of January, the birthday of my wife, -9 was requested. Today, the day after the birthday of my son, -11 points were requested by Giuseppe Chiné. What happened between one birthday and the other? Nothing. Nothing happened in terms of new evidences, new proofs, new information, a new case that was reopened. Absolutely not. -9 to -11 requested. Why? I don't understand. You know that my job here on the channel is to make your life easier. How? By explaining you what is happening around Juventus. Guys, I can't find a logical explanation to that increase of requests. And also the decrease in request in some manager ban, because he requested 1 year back then, and today, this morning, he decided to request -8 months ban for the manager. Why? What happened? Can someone explain me? The only explanation, illogical, logical explanation I try to give me is the fact that the ranking is saying that with a minus 11, Juventus goes 8 in the ranking. 1 point behind Roma. Today, Juventus ranking can change not once but twice. Why? Because first we can have the point deduction and then we can play the game against Empoli. So it can change twice. But what is the illogical, logical explanation I gave in myself? In January, Kine verbally said there need to be an impactful punishment, and the impactful punishment would be that Juventus is behind Roma. For what reason? I had 5 months to think about it. I still don't know why behind Roma. If someone is able to explain me, let me know in the comment, because I don't know why behind Roma. But this is the only possible explanation. Juventus agrees with the impactful punishment. Guys, we can't defend ourselves. We try to defend. They don't want to listen. So Juventus said, okay, if you want to give us an impactful punishment, that means from the second spot in ranking in Serie A to the 4th. Why? Because you are already losing a lot of million. For what reason? You remember that the new Supercoppa will be played between 4 teams. The 2 finalists of Coppa Italia, Inter and Fiorentina. Juventus didn't make it. We don't deserve, because we lost against Inter. But then the 1st and the 2nd of Serie A, where Juventus at the moment deserve to be playing that Supercoppa, means that you are losing 10 million euro if you don't participate. That's a big, impactful financial problem and consequence for Juve. We don't know how much points they will deduct. Ragazzi, before going to Allegri, to Sky Sport with their fake news and so on, let me give you my feeling since the first day, since day one, of why there is a big circus with sporting justice in Italy. Evelina Cristilin, that is the FIFA council. She's actually the link between UEFA and FIFA. She's the spokesperson of UEFA in FIFA. She has always been that close to Juventus. She says that she's a Juve supporter. Evelina Cristilin, this morning to Radio Uno, she said Juventus banned from European competitions to the cups organized by UEFA. It's a possible scenario. Let's not forget that the relationship between Juve and UEFA are absolutely not excellent after that Super League question. Juve remains one of the 3 teams that are keeping the project Super League alive. Initiative from Juve to get closer to UEFA has at the moment not been seen. These are the words by the spokesperson of UEFA to FIFA. Guys, what are they doing? What is it all about? It is about Super League, the conflict with Ceferin. Ceferin that wants to keep Juventus out of European competition for 1 year, 2 years, we don't know. Whatever the point deduction will be this evening or latest tomorrow morning, from the moment that there will be a point deduction, UEFA will make sure to ban Juventus. I can be wrong, of course, but this is the feeling I have since day one, and I try to report you, explain you on the channel. Ragazzi, we will see. Yesterday, and we go to another topic. Yesterday, Fabio Caressa, that I respect, that I really appreciate, from Sky Sport Italia, commentator and a sport commentator, a really great one, he went out with, we have sensational news about Juventus. All and millions of Juventini, they were watching Il Club, the show of Caressa, to understand what is that sensational news. Actually nothing. We all lost our time because he just repeated a lot of things. What did he say? 3 things, 3 or 4 things important. The first one, Di Maria, more out than in, 90% that he will not renew with Juventus. This morning, Fabrizio Romano confirmed him that the talks between Juve and Di Maria broke down. Despite there was optimism from both sides in April, the things are nearly over. It gets really complicated. Di Maria, that could leave as a free agent from Juventus. Do you agree with that decision, guys? Let me know in the comment. The second one is that Dusan Vlahovic is on the market. Fabrizio Romano, Julien Laurence, and so on. They were speaking about a lot of teams interested in Vlahovic. Chelsea, Bayern Munich, Manchester United. I already spoke about that news 2 days, 3 days ago on the video, telling you why it was. And if you're curious why, go back on my videos. I really explained why Vlahovic could potentially be on the market. But was there something news? Absolutely not. The only possible news they gave was that 2 days ago, Giuntoli to Juve was 100% confirmed from everyone, from Di Marzio, that is also working at Sky Sport, to yesterday saying The chances of Giuntoli to Juve decreased for one simple reason. Because Juventus offered him a 5-year contract. There is a verbal agreement with Giuntoli, but De Laurentiis is waiting. De Laurentiis at the moment didn't give the final agreement. If De Laurentiis is waiting too long before giving that green light, an internal promotion could happen. Manna, that is sporting director of Juventus Next Gen, could be promoted to the first team sporting director. Someone that really deserves, really great one that did already on the field a lot of beautiful things. There are some proven facts. So internal promotion would not be bad. But Giuntoli is an experienced one, the one that is making the supporters dreaming. It's also the decision that has been taken by Juventus ownership, Elkan, and so on, by Francesco Calvo. So what is happening there? They are saying it's not sure anymore. On the other side, they are contradicting themselves, because they are saying it's also Juve that waits to understand if yes or no what will happen with the sporting justice. Will they participate in Champions League and so on? So I don't understand the conflicting news that they were reporting yesterday between it's because of De Laurentiis that said at the moment, stop, I didn't take my decision yet. And if they wait too long, then Juventus will go internally. To even if De Laurentiis says yes, green light, we have to wait because we need to understand what is happening with sporting justice. Something is not clear. And also Di Marzio was not clear yesterday. Yesterday evening at 11:37, he's reporting that there is the agreement between Juve and Giuntoli. They are just waiting for the green light of De Laurentiis. A few minutes later, 20 minutes later, after listening probably or receiving a call from Sky Sport, he's changing his tweet, deleting the first one and rewriting it with internal discussion on the club sporting director of Napoli. Changing the narrative. How is it possible that Gianluca Di Marzio, super guy of Mercato with a lot of information, is changing it 20 minutes after a title of an article? Really strange. Guys, I don't know. I believe they fooled a lot of millions of supporters of Juve, me included, waiting for a big news that there was not. What about Giuntoli? A lot of journalists are saying at the moment nothing is changing. But that's where we go to Gazzetta dello Sport. Spalletti, regalo da Dio. That was the fourth news given by Sky Sport Italia yesterday. Spalletti will leave Napoli, and probably there is the reason why De Laurentiis at the moment is not yet giving the green line to Giuntoli. With one important thing, Spalletti will not become the coach of Juve next year, for a reason that if he frees himself from Napoli, he has a clause that he can't go to a competitor. Corriere dello Sport is giving the words of Max Allegri of yesterday in press conference: Juve, io non me ne vado. Juventus, I am not leaving. I'm sorry for the microphone, because that's what he said yesterday. I made my decision. At 100%, I remain at Juventus. Then, if other people internal of the management of Juve are taking another decision, that's something else. But I remain at 100%. This is my decision. Something that we already know, something that we already experienced in 2019 before him being dismissed. What will happen at the moment, we don't know. Big question mark, and we will have to wait until the 5th of June to discover if Allegri will still be there. Guys, the message that Allegri is sending is clear. Giuntoli or not Giuntoli, which I am not deciding, I will be there. I will be there, except if they dismiss me. But this is not really the important thing. The most important thing yesterday, and this time I totally not agree with Allegri. We can discuss about the field, the lineups, the performances, the offensive way of seeing and watching football, everything you want to. But I have always defended the man about how he defended Juve, about how he defended his players. Yesterday, there was a question about Szczesny. Szczesny, that I repeat, said, if I was man of the match MVP against Sevilla, that meant that we didn't play, that we didn't deserve to win. If after the 1-0 that we scored, we started to play with a really low average block, it means that we didn't deserve to win. I totally agree with his words. A lot of people, I believe all Juventini, agreed with his words. The answer yesterday in press conference by Max Allegri was, Szczesny doesn't speak really well, doesn't master really well the Italian language. The team did the best they could. I really thought about that. I totally not agree with Max Allegri. I think that he was really frustrated for one simple reason. I'm not justifying it because I think that he did really wrong. But the only logical explanation I'm giving in is reported to 2021, when everyone was actually asking Szczesny to be sold. People were crying for Donnarumma. People were criticizing Allegri to continue to play with Szczesny because they wanted Perin. Allegri defended Szczesny until death, continuing even after 2-3 games of really bad performances to give him that number one in the starting lineup. He defended him until death, and I believe that he felt himself a bit, how can I say, not respected enough by someone who he tried to protect. Does that justify what Allegri said yesterday in press conference? Absolutely not. Absolutely not, but I try to find a logical thing. Again, I think that Allegri yesterday could have avoided that sentence. Moments of big tension about him, his future role, and some players that were saying what they were thinking, what millions of Juventini were thinking, not appreciated by Allegri. Again, I finished that longer video with Empoli Juve. This evening, we know it, Danilo and Quadrado are not called up, on top of all the injured players, for one simple reason, because they were suspended. Riccio, Alessandro and Sersanti will be there. I will support Riccio, and I really hope that he can make it for a few minutes, for one simple reason, because a few months ago I was live together with him on the Juventus Twitch channel, and he was a super guy, someone that from time to time we are sending messages on Instagram, super kind person, but also someone that I'm watching with the under 23 with the next gen team, and that is really playing super well. So I'm happy for Alessandro Riccio, and also for Sersanti, of course. The possible lineup, well, there is one change between Tuttosport and Gazzetta dello Sport, is the goalkeeper. Tuttosport is going with Szczesny, Gazzetta with Perin, Alexandro Bremer Gatti in the defense, Kostic and Barbieri fullbacks or offensive wingers, Paredes, Miretti, Locatelli in the middle of the defense with Keane and Milik up front. A real 3-5-2. Again, I don't want to speak too much about it. I don't want to speak about tactics or whatever with you. We see each other this evening, maybe with another small live in the interview in the afternoon. Otherwise, it will be a watch-along, pre-game and watch-along on this channel. Ragazzi, let me know everything you want to in the comment. I'm curious to read them. Grazie, forza, Juve.